Okay, first, I really like this quote from Homer because I think it sums up our objectives very well. Creating a favorable environment for visiting researchers is first and foremost a question of hospitality. Academic hospitality, economic hospitality, cultural hospitality. A guest who never forgets the host, who treated him, her kindly, is proof of positive conditions for lasting professional relationships. In academia and outside academia, this is how we extend bonds of camaraderie, develop solidarity, and cultivate alumni relationships. Um, I have limited time, so I can only give you an overview of the environment we have created in France with our UXS network. Uh, to create such an environment, we need to understand the needs of visiting researchers in order to meet the expectations. To this end, to do this, we need to work as a network. The French UXS network currently comprises 53 support centers. This is around 100 people. Most are in universities, but there is also one research organization, two associations, and two foundations. In 2024, the French network supported nearly 18,000 international researchers. 56% of whom were doctoral students and 75% were third country nationals. In order to improve the conditions for visiting researchers, we need to facilitate their immigration. Entry and residence conditions for researchers from third countries, those who do not benefit from the freedom of movement reserved to the Schengen area. To this end, we have recruited an international mobility lawyer who provides the necessary monitoring and legal expertise to our network, which is then able to foster constructive dialogue with the relevant ministries. That is to say, research, interior, foreign affairs, etc. Of course, we invite these ministries to participate in one of our two annual meetings in Paris. To professionalize the support provided to visiting researchers, we develop tools to monitor, collect data, communicate best practices, and coordinate initiatives. Before focusing on this aspect of our work, the topic of the day, a few key points. We have a database and software for connecting with your access centers with visiting researchers. Alfred, this is our database and software system. We have a discussion forum and mailing lists for communication between us, your access centers. We have 8 thematic working groups to professionalize our support for visiting researchers, and 2 annual meetings to get together and develop the network. For the French network to flourish, we engage with decision makers and stakeholders to recruit the best talents, cultivate academic hospitality, and support the country's attractiveness. Before telling you about how we monitor guest researchers with our system, I would like to emphasize the importance of sharing best practices in order to professionalize the network. Sorry, I will switch off my phone. Particularly through our discussion forum, where you can get an overview of the daily exchanges we have. Of course, the issue that provokes the most debate is that of regulatory changes for the immigration of researchers coming from the third countries. It is a subject on which our leaders not only in France, I guess, show great imagination, multiplying laws and debates. It is now more than 20 different laws in less than 30 years in France. Here is now an overview of our system for monitoring international researchers visiting France. It is named Alfred because it is a product of the Alfred Kastler National Foundations after the Nobel Prize in Physics 1966. And it is also an acronym for, indeed, Alumni and Foreign Researchers Directory. The database is shared with the French EU-Access network with an online registration form since 1998. And the software as well for connecting with visiting researchers since 2002. Finally, since 2019, our system is GDPR compliant. Today, two IT professionals are developing the Alfred software, depending, of course, on the needs of the network. Here you can see a preview of the homepage with the task list, library, and the active discussions of the network on the discussions forum. This is actually our test base that I'm showing you, the one we use to train new users and demonstrate all its features to new users. Before going into details, here is the growth of our database since its creation. It is steady since the 2000s, since the database is shared with the French EU-Access centers. In the 2020s, we can clearly see the effect of the COVID pandemic. We estimate today that our system now records about 90% of guest researchers coming to the country. Here is how international researchers are registered and validated using our system. We have a very comprehensive registration form that your access centers can send via the internet. I'm not going to show you the form because it takes a while to fill in, but I will show you the validation process by the centers. For your access, the advantage is to get very comprehensive data, and for researchers, it is to benefit from the many personalized services they really need. It is a win-win situation, so to speak. Registration from international researchers are assigned to your access centers based on the postcode. Here we see the registration monitoring page for the EU Access Center in Paris East, showing those that are pending. As the mobility of researchers becomes more complex, with them staying at several institutions, working on jointly supervised theses or completing first a thesis at one institution and then a postdocs at another. As a result, your access centers can share data. And each researcher has a unique identifier in the database to make their lives easier and simplify our work, the access network. In the left-hand column of the screen, you can see the various functions of Alfred, which I will explain to you. Essentially, each center checks the registration and validates them. Here, for example, is one from Czech researchers who worked at the University of Paris East, Créteil. Doesn't work. Ah, yes, it is. It works. This slide is to show you, looking at his registration, we can see that he is a physicist and professor at the University of West Bohemia in Pilsen, who came in February 2024 as part of a collaboration with French colleagues from this laboratory in Créteil. This is a past network. This is, again, the test database. We can see he came alone. And on this slide, this is to show you the registration more clearly. You will not see, no, it includes, you can see he has defended his thesis in Czech Republic in 1998, and that he came in France on his own salary. With the statistical features that that can also show you, this registration data provide us with many indicators, which your access centers can obtain in a matter of minutes and send to their institutions as well to the European Commission for Annual Statistics. Here are a few examples. The distribution of international researchers hosted in 2024 by continents, depending on whether the researchers have a PhD or are PhD students. Distribution by scientific fields, according to the Frascati manual nomenclature, which is the international reference for OECD. Distribution by institutions, universities, research organizations, engineering schools, etc. Also according to the source of income, salaries or grants, from their country or from France. We can also look at the host regions, length of stay, establish age pyramids, and much more. Once the registration has been checked, the EU Access Center can validate the registration, and then the researchers is immediately notified by email. Each EU Access Center is free to configure its validation message as it wishes, according to the range of services it can offer, indeed with the logo of the institution, contact details, etc. Each center can also set up an out-of-office message for holidays, special events, notify the end of stays for related formalities, possible extensions, can remind residents of the expiry dates of their residence permits, TS, so that they can take any necessary steps with the prefecture in advance and activate accommodation features. I will come back to this later. I have added this slide to show you how your Access Center can record the consultation with international researchers and the services they can provide. For us, consultations are a request from researchers, either face-to-face, by phone, by email, or video chats. And each consultation may correspond to several services regarding formalities, accommodation, and so on, according to a list updated with EU Access Centers. Again, you will see, sorry. My next slide is, once researchers have been validated, various dashboards enable EU Access Centers to assist them with their residence formalities, visa, residence permits, social security, accommodation, furnished accommodation, residence, integration, language course, cultural events, visit to the region, and so on, and indeed career development. Here is another excerpt from our latest annual report with details of the consultations and services provided to internal researchers in 2024, where you can clearly see the importance of entry and residence formalities in the services provided by the French network, as well as for assisting them with their accommodation. I have two more slides to show you. First, remind us that EU Access Centers can send to international researchers to notify them of important dates they need to keep an eye on to ensure their stay goes smoothly, particularly regarding the residence permits, visa, and so on. And finally, I wanted to show you two features that we developed about 10 years ago at the EU Access of two EU access centers in Grenoble and Lyon, which were facing very high demand from research for accommodation, from researchers for accommodation. To facilitate their work, we devised a way of connecting researchers in their area with their landlord. With a few photos and descriptions, accommodation availability calendars, accessibility, rent amounts, etc. We did this with private furnished accommodation owners, as well as with dedicated residents and apart hotels. Today, I think about 10 EU access centers are using these two additional features. In conclusion, I'm very grateful to my team for their commitments to developing Alfred, training users. I'm also very grateful to our employer, the Cité Internationale Universitaire de Paris, for its support, to the French network for its dedication, and to the 42 other additional national networks, for making guest researchers feel at home in Europe. This is a project that we actually formed in 2000 with European Commission, with Jimmy Jamar, Raffaele Liberali, Sigi Gruber, Michel Anoyer, and so many others since then to tackle the obstacles to mobility. What a journey it was. Thank you very much for your attention.